Oh, what's going on, everybody? Nice little consolidation day here. Down a little bit in the after hours, but again, after hours moves, they don't mean a whole lot. We're going to see what happens when the market opens for the pre-market. And then after 15 to 30 minutes that the market is actually open, then we're going to pick a direction. But the thing is that since we went up like over 20% yesterday and we were able to hold around this $43 level is very good in my opinion. So how's everybody feeling? Pink Lemonade says, I thought Trey and Matt did a great job on C-Pain today. Oh, they always do. They always crush it on there. Let's see. Let me shoot this link out to a few people and then let's get it going. Oh, Nepal. I wasn't in there this morning. I was a little busy. Ben's feeling good. What's up, Sam? Guess what? Chicken Butts. That's a new name. How you doing? I had sold my options today. I was up 2K. You didn't sell. Interesting. Riptide, feeling good. Nice green week. Yeah, guys. The other thing is that look at this chart right here. This is what we said last time in like May and June. Look where we were at a couple of days ago. $32. We peaked in the $48 range. Now we're at $43.60 in the after hours. Still awesome. Still really great. Thanks for standing up today. I feel like your height is vindicated. I mean, I'm not that tall. How many paper hands do you think we lost today? Not many. Either way, I think Apes, like the strongly convicted Apes, were just still buying. So it's just consolidating the shareholders that we have. So it's a smaller amount of Apes holding more shares. If they're more convicted and willing to hold longer, then it furthers that supply and demand dilemma that we're going to see once we end up squeezing. How about that reverse repo? Ooh, that was all-time high there on the repos. Sure feels good to be buying all those dips this past month. Dennis, that's a really good point. So anybody that was just buying dips, like averaging down on your longer term call positions, we had this big rip. You're probably still crushing it right now. Your account is definitely not at the peak that it was when it was at 48, but you're still up a very significant amount. And here's the other thing. If we were to hit 55, 60, or even 65, even 100 today, would that have changed anything? Would you have sold your position out? I think a lot of people would say no. So when we think about what the price does, it's like, all right, well, the shorts have not covered. The price can go basically wherever it wants to. But if the shorts haven't covered, then nothing's changed. No paper hands were Apes. Ernie, thank you so much for that super. Shout out to all you guys that send those in. Thank you so much. Ernie says, you missed having to call me daddy by 3 trading days. You lucky SOB. Much love, broski. Ernie, I know. Close one there, huh? Let's see. Let's do a little Ortex update. Let's see. A little refresh here. Okay. So utilization 90.68 hasn't changed from the morning. We have a borrowed change of 301,000 shares of a net borrow of AMC shares today. Estimated short interest is about 17%. They're saying it went up today, but again, this is just recalibrations after the exchange reported short interest is in. So what they do is they use the exchange reported short interest to kind of base their daily estimates. Ben says if it 100, I would have sold some of my options. That's a fair point. I was talking more about like shares though. Options, different game. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, I probably would have considered that too. I have a couple out there that if it hit 100, I would have been like, probably going to take these. But not my shares. They're not going anywhere. Didn't sell at 72, just rolling with the punches. There you go. This is what I have going. I bought a long call for the short squeeze and bought another call for some profit to cover me in the short term to buy more AMC. There you go. Ooh, Wall Street Viking. Good morning, brother. I know you're as bullish on AMC as me. But have you looked at all into SPRT? I think it's legit and gaining traction. Viking, yeah, a lot of people are on SPRT right now. For me, I'm not going to chase it. Like, yeah, easily it could go right now. Like, if you look at the short interest for SPRT, it's very high. They've also been on the threshold list for a very significant amount of time. So there are there is a thesis for that it definitely could squeeze. Is it going to go as high as AMC or GameStop? In my opinion, no. It's definitely a play out there that you can take a look at, though. But at this point, we can pull up the chart. Whoops, I just hit a can. So if we look at this and then we go to like a 1 month, like look at this, 581 to 15, it's tripled. I'm not going to chase that. But if you're already in it, you're crushing it. Michael says, got screwed on cloves, so debating on SPRT. Yeah. Ben Levine bought a lot more shares today. Ben, you crushed it on those options yesterday too. Like, you absolutely crushed it. History repeats itself. Yeah, with where we're at right now with AMC, it does kind of look like let me pull it on the daily. This always messes it up when I pull it on the daily. All right. So the day that we saw today and yesterday looks sort of like these 2 days right here. Like, sort of. Not really, but it's close. Viking, thank you so much for the super. Appreciate your input. That triple Ortex squeeze trigger got me hot and bothered. I never believed in clove. I do believe this is different. Viking, there you go. You're probably already crushing it right now. So, I mean, I'm really happy that you're making some money. You SPRT guys need to realize buying when it's at an all-time high, you're going to get cracked. It's possible, Nick, but it's also possible that it just keeps ripping. So it's risky, but make sure you just know the risk. That's the main thing. I need help understanding and playing options. VIX, any recommendations? Bradley, were you asking questions earlier about videos? Go look at the Trading Fraternity channel, and then there's a bunch of YouTube videos out there on like what options are, options trading strategies, how to trade them. We could do an options trading stream on a Friday night. If you guys want to, we'll just do one stream just for options, and we'll do like maybe an hour, 2 hours of just like in-depth going through like the basics and then like some strategies revolving around options. We could do that one time if you want to. Maddie B's TV, read my last couple of messages. Let's see. This is going to spiral out of control for hedge funds soon. And I feel very soon, if we get a nice gamma squeeze at the end of this week, next week, we could possibly see what we saw back in June. This time, possibly all the way up to 100, which will make the small shorts cover and in favor make bigger shorts cover plus the FOMO. The MOAS happens. Maddie B's TV. I have a little bit of a different theory about what's going on, but we can go over that. Phil Mamore, thank you so much for that generous super. I really, really appreciate it. So Maddie B's TV, here's honestly where I see us going if we're going to have a big gamma squeeze. Let's take a look. It's way higher than you expect. If we start to rip, here's probably what will happen. This week, if we crack 50, we're probably going to rip even more. So we cracked 40 with these 24,000 contracts, went as high as 48. Now, if we crack 50, probably going to touch 55. Are we going to do that? It's very possible, but at the same time, we start the Jackson Hole Symposium tomorrow, so we could get some bad news that's going to make the market freak out. And as I said in the end of my video today, if that does happen, it's not the end of the world. It's just the market throwing a temper tantrum. Here's the other thing, though. What you have to look at for a big June-like gamma squeeze. Ooh, this is interesting. They added some options here. Be careful. Okay, so 80's got a bunch of contracts. So there's a lot of gamma pressure all the way from 50, then 60, and then 80. If we rip, okay, cool. But a big, 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 big gamma squeeze would be this right here. 145. Now, if we see that technical breakout above, I believe TMI was saying 46.50, it's it's game on, in my opinion. I think we'll shoot pretty close to all-time highs, and then we're going to see a lot of hedging and FOMO start to kick in. Now, that could push us above 100. And like, look at how many contracts there are. If we run through this option chain, here's where I see us going. If we get that breakout, we get the FOMO, we have enough gamma pressure all the way up to maybe 100, 125, and they start having to hedge those 145s, we could easily see 200 or 250. That's the next height of the next gamma squeeze, in my opinion. Does that make sense to everybody? That's saying if we cross those levels and we get that June-like run-up, if we have a situation like June happen again, I'm thinking 200 to 250. Now, Matty B's TV is right, where the smaller shorts are going to have to cover. We've been talking about this a lot, and there's a lot of them. So we won't see as much, in my opinion. We won't see like crazy ups and downs. We'll see that parabolic move going up, and it will probably just continue, maybe with a couple of choppy, volatile days. Now, that could get us up to the levels where we see the larger institutions having to cover. Sorry, stuffed my super. Phil more. It's all good, man. If you have a question, just drop it in the chat. I will look for it. But thank you. Ernie, thank you so much for another super. I hope we break 50. I got 52, 63, and 80 calls on AMC. Ernie, good luck, man. That'll be fun. Let's see. 145 is our base launching pad for the MOAS. It's very possible. So here's just my thought process of what's going on. I think we're 1 or 2. Here's the thing. We don't know how they can mess with these margin requirements and kick the can down the road, and how deep they're willing to go before we actually take off. We don't know. We thought this was going to happen. We thought we were going to kick off the squeeze at 40. Then we hit 77 in the after hours, and we didn't kick off everything. We didn't force all or a significant portion of the shorts to cover. So then what's the price? Well, we don't know. It's going to be different. There's probably like an average price where we would see basically the baseline for the MOAS to kick off. But I think that we've seen January, we've seen June. I think we are 1 or 2 of those events like that happening again before we just rip, like big rip. And then we start getting into the super volatile territory where everybody is going to be crazy emotional. Like some days we're going to have these streams and we're going to end big green and it's going to be awesome. We're all going to be excited. And then other days we're going to really tank. And then people are going to come in here, or they're not going to come in here at all. And they're going to be really upset. Like, you have to prepare for these emotional price movements that we're about to see. It's going to be crazy. Like when the shorts start to cover, we saw it in Volkswagen. We saw it with Overstock. It's these crazy, like, we're going to go up. We're going to have all these volatility halts. And then, well, maybe the shorts aren't supplying that buying pressure at the current time because they've covered enough of their position. Well, then retail and institutions are probably not going to buy at those higher levels. So the price is going to come down. Then more shorts get added. It keeps cycling through. And it's just going to be this really, really volatile time. Nepal says, do you think the gamma squeeze will start this week? Nepal, here's the thing. We kind of already saw one. We saw a little mini gamma squeeze yesterday, I believe. Now, the next time that we need to, the next point where we're really going to see some buying pressure from institutions is 50. Ernie, thank you so much for the super. Based off the average short position ranges from 40 to 77 since the average position was 50 days ago. Wow, is it really up there? There's no way. I thought it was before that. 50 days ago is like, oh man, you're right. Wow, time flies when you're talking about AMC. Junior, thank you so much for the supers, guys. I really appreciate it. Do you think we could possibly see 50 this week, maybe 60 next week? I definitely think it's possible, but we don't really know what's going to happen. Yeah, also, if you guys don't mind, just dropping a like on the stream. It just helps us with the YouTube algorithm, gets more people in here so we can kind of hang out, go over everything that's going on. So thank you to all of you who have already liked it and who are going to. Do you think bigger hedge funds like Citadel would pay smaller hedge funds the money to not cover once we start going up? because they know if they don't get it, it'll screw them later. Maybe we already saw that with Melvin and Citadel in January in 0.72. Maybe we've already seen a situation like that, Matty B. So they'll cough up the capital originally to basically as like a loan and be like, you're going to help us out and cover your small short so we can basically maintain our short because we have more capital than you and we can maintain those margin requirements and those liquidity standards way longer than you can. But if Melvin were to have like fully covered their short, then it would have just ripped. No trading on emotions. Daddy Wrench said so. Henry, I agree. I just know that people are not going to be able to do it. That's the thing. Fuzzy, hey Vix, how the hell are you? I'm doing all right. Be prepared for volatility. Hold out for the bigger bucks. Apes together strong, says Millie. There you go. I'm scared. I really want this money, says Alex. We'll get there. Oh, what's up, Vegas? Hey, your dad wouldn't happen to be Ben Shapiro, would it? No. Matt, what was your question? I didn't see it. When you exercise options, do you have to already have the money in your account, or is it subtracted for your realized gains when you exercised? Matt, so in order to exercise an option, you need the cash. So if you wanted to exercise this $40 strike right here, you would literally get none of this premium. You would lose all, you would no longer have the money that you put into the contract. You would just be using the contract for what it's supposed to do. So then you would just go and buy this 100 share block if you had one contract, and you would have to pay $4,000. So you would need to have that $4,000. Didn't Citadel hire a UK firm to short AMC? I don't know about that. I don't pay a fee daily to hold my shares. I'll last longer than they will. Trapping on Wall Street. There you go, buddy. Let's see. Antics is STV's long lost daddy. There you go. Hey, STV, looking forward to the days ahead. No paper handing here. It's going to be hard to sell even when we moon to 500K. Yeah. Oh, Alpine's different fee rhymes with AMC. There was a firm in the UK that like failed. They closed their main fund, which would be the fund with the most capital, due to their losses on GameStop in January. Let's see. To roll a call, yeah. To roll a call on Robinhood, do I need to sell my current contract and buy another at a later expiration? Yep. That's just rolling over. It sounds more complicated than it is, but it's literally selling your contract and then buying another one. Trapping on Wall Street, deep in the red still. Only difference for me and the hedgies is I'm going to go green way before they ever will. There you go. I mean, if they ever go green. Let's see. There were a couple of other things that we needed to go over. So let's see here. Stonko tracker, we have 98,816 calls in the money. At 45, there's an additional 16,000. So that really puts a lot more pressure on. And then when we come down a little bit further, 10,000 puts in the money, 98,000 calls. So when we're thinking about the net hedging from these institutions, they're going to way more towards the buy side and the unhedging of those puts. So it's going to be like double buying, if that makes sense. Because when puts run out of the money, if they've already hedged them, then we have to know first that when you sell a put, in order to hedge, you can either buy another put contract or you can short directly shares. So when they undo that, they would cover those short-term shorts, increase the buying volume, but then calls are running in the money too. So then they have to buy more shares. Let's see. Quack, quack. What's up, Mad Stuck Suspenders? There we go. All right. You are so smart, Vix. I'm really not. Where's the thing I want to talk about, though? Ooh, okay. Here's something that you guys should know. This is getting interesting. So hedge funds dump Chinese stocks at record pace, setting stage for a furious rebound. Maybe, maybe not. What we can see here is we pointed to Chinese stocks as one of the key culprits, with Goldman noting that 1/3 of hedge funds in Goldman's analysis held a Chinese American depository receipt, which is basically like the version of what of the Chinese stocks that we saw with AMC in Brazil. Basically the same thing at the start of Q3, contributing to the most recent headwinds against hedge fund returns. Remember, we've been talking about that dwindling hedge fund returns for a while. So now, specifically, since the middle of February, a basket of Chinese ADRs, and this is the ticker for this, it's most likely this is on Bloomberg, has declined by 55%, with all but one of the stocks generating a negative return. 40 of the 46 stocks declining by more than 20%. Now, a lot of these funds do invest in Chinese, like we can see right here, a lot of these hedge funds are investing in Chinese stocks. And if you're investing in Chinese stocks and they're tanking, well, we know everybody's over leveraged already. So if the positions are going against them, well, they're even more screwed. Now, when we come down a little bit further, naturally, with the Chinese stocks continuing to slide, many were curious if hedge funds retain their Chinese exposure. Well, courtesy of, here we go, Goldman's prime brokerage, which is like the largest prime brokerage. It's either the largest or the second largest. We now know the answer. It is a decisive no. But first, some weekly performance stats from Goldman Prime focusing on Asia hedge fund exposure. They go over this a little bit. When we come down here, okay, so basically what we're seeing here is, well, they're selling their positions in these Chinese stocks. Why would they do that? Why would they not just buy more if they like the company over all those companies over the long term? If they're seeing a dip, if you like the company, you're just going to buy more. So what could have happened here is these forced liquidations of these hedge funds. They're just like, yeah, we've been margin called, because as we can see in this, I hate that noise, that basket of stocks that we looked up here since the middle of February, the basket of the Chinese American depository receipts has declined by 55%. You can't have positions go against you by that much. And when you're levered up, it's even more of a decline. So it's very probable, in my opinion, that they got forcibly closed out of their positions. Goldman doesn't want to do that to their clients. They don't want to do that, because if they're continuously forcing people out of their positions, the hedge funds are going to be like, I don't want to trade with you anymore because you keep screwing me over. Even though these positions are going against us, there's like that gentleman's agreement that you're not going to make me close it. Antics says, what's this I'm hearing about Bank of America needing loans because they use credit default swaps betting against AMC or GME and now they're under? Is this for real or speculative? Antics, I think you're referring to Cryan's DD. I read it today briefly. I was gonna try to touch on it in the video today, but I just couldn't. I couldn't get to it. I was having a weird day, and it looks interesting. But here's the thing: if they're using swaps and they're screwed on swaps, swaps are a version of OTC derivatives. So if they are screwing themselves over with these swaps and whatever they're doing with them, a lot of people have been saying, well, they're packaging the synthetic or counterfeit shares in them, or they're using them to create those synthetic or counterfeit share positions. Either way, if there's a third-party custodian, which that new Phase 5 UMR rule is going to input, it's going to be a lot more difficult to have that unbiased third party sitting there and watching that and being like, yeah, that's fine. You can do that. They're going to be like, what are you doing? And the second thing is that since they're expecting an increase in margin calls, if these are wildly over leveraged positions, or they're going to keep doing it, they're going to have to put up way more money in order to do this. So here's what this ties into, all of this together: liquidity. If they don't have the money to keep maintaining these positions, they slowly bleed out. Now, it doesn't even have to do with AMC. It honestly doesn't. If one of these funds is short AMC or GameStop, but they have these other weird swap positions that they're, or any OTC derivative that they know they're going to have to cough up more money for, or they have to deal with NSCC 005, or they're going to have to deal with NSCC 002. They're just going to get drained of money. And when they don't have money to maintain these positions, like you're done. You get stopped out. You no longer can have that position. Milo, thank you so much for the super. I really, really appreciate it, guys. Honestly, man, your DD is amazing. At this point, I'm jaded to the price action up and down. I'll pay attention when the data shows covering. Good lesson to all. Milo, I think that's a really good outlook. 9-1 will be big. No. 9-1 could be the start of a accelerated liquidity drain. This doesn't mean that on September 1st, we're going to pop. It's possible. It's very possible with everybody expecting August and September to be awesome months. Like, I would love to be wrong on what I'm saying. But I don't want anybody to get their like hopes too high about that September 1st date, even though this rule is pretty cool and this new like regulation almost. Sean, thank you so much for the super. Hey, Vix, wanted to ask what indicators are you using to find entry and exit in a scalp play? I've been funding my AMC by scalping options and having trouble. Sean, good question. So here's what I do. If I am trading options, I rarely use technicals. There's a lot of different ways to trade options. I just like to choose the one where it's quick in and out. You pretty much know the momentum of the stock, and that's news. So here's what I've done over the past couple of weeks. AMD had this announcement. It was like it wasn't like directly benefiting AMD, but they were about to, the stock just started popping off of news. That plain and simple. I bought some calls, weekly calls, didn't put that much money in it, took a 10% gain in and out in 5 minutes. I was on TMI stream when I did it. Second one, Pfizer, kind of worked. It was off news, but not really. That didn't work out too well. The two that I crushed it on were VIX, which is interesting because my name is short the VIX. So okay, so here's what happened. When the Fed announced that tapering news and the market started to sell off, I was on VXX calls right away. I think I had the 30s for the week after, took a 90% gain, done. Then when you think about where the market was at, this was more speculative. Yeah, I'm Stevie. I did I was short the VIX, kind of. I was just betting against VXX, which kind of tracks the VIX. So then what I did was, okay, what we've seen with the overall market over the past couple of months is that if it has one of these little corrections, like right here, this is where I played the VXX calls. Well, somewhere around here, this section below, I was like, well, the market's probably going to bounce back and the volatility is going to decrease. So then my VIX puts went up like 100%. So I trade mostly off news. Wall Street Viking, thank you so much for the super. That was a big one. Thank you so much. I know you're not in it, but can you break down the nasty option chain on SPRT? I mean, I feel like it has more gamma than the Hulk, but respect, I would like your opinion. Yeah, I'll pull that up real quick. It's probably going to be the September monthly because, yeah, okay. Not really. Yeah. It's not, no, Viking, this isn't that crazy. How many shares outstanding does it have? What's the float? Lot size. Free float, 15 million. Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, okay, I can see what you're saying on that. It could have a decent gamma potential. It really all depends on like how many shares are actually out there and how many shares they would have to buy to hedge if it ripped. I mean, it's up it was up 20% today. I thought I saw it hit 14 a couple days ago, but it was up another 20% today. It's up 4% in the after hours. Whoever's in it right now is crushing it. But in my opinion, if you're not in it already, you're chasing, be careful. If you want to go in and risk some money, go for it. Just know what you're getting into. It easily could keep going. That's like, this is why I'm not saying like this is a terrible idea. Easily could keep going, but who knows? Viking, thanks for another super. That's the thing. The free float is only 15 million. Yeah. Oh, so you are right. It does have decent gamma potential if it keeps running. It definitely does. Down to the wire, but we closed at 43.52. Down 1% in the after hours. Okay. That's fine. Are you gonna? Was anybody planning on selling if it went to 60? I don't think so. Maybe some options. Your options would have made a bunch more money. So if you're playing options, little disappointing, but at the same time, it's like, what are we here for? We're here for these. We're here for the squeeze. If it hasn't squeezed or the shorts haven't covered, it's like, okay, yeah, we can mess around with options, and hopefully our options, the expiration dates cover the time that it's going to squeeze in. Like our expiration date is after the squeeze date. But if we haven't seen the shorts cover, we're going to see these volatile price movements. It's entirely possible that we see some big red days. And I could almost guarantee that we're going to see some more big red days. Now, I don't know when, but we probably are, just because of the situation that we're in. We just have to be ready for it. But we're also going to see some giant green days coming. David, thank you so much for the super. How many put options expire tomorrow total? David, so options expire on Fridays. So for AMC, it would, let's look. Oh, I'll just pull up Stonko Tracker real quick. Puts 10,000. Viking, I appreciate you, brother. This thing hit 70 by the 10th. I'm paying for your room. You already know. Haha. Thank you, Viking. I appreciate it, man. What's up, Ashraf? How you doing, man? Thank you so much for the super. Hello, Vix. Hope you had a great day. I had a decent day. Short interest should go up. They whacked us a combo, $12 in 2 days with 500 billion in volume. We got their attention. Yeah. Yeah, we probably do. I hate, okay, this option's not available for trading the stock right now. 1, after hours is closed. 2, I'm not logged in to this. So that doesn't mean anything. It's just when I click the specific strike, sometimes when I click back over, it messes around. Super chat, short squeeze. Good evening, Vix. Great job like always. We appreciate your hard work. Thank you, guys. What's the minimum you see AMC short squeeze going to? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Because in order to know that, you would have to know how many shares are out there. You would have to know, there's just too many variables to this. It's like solving an equation where you don't even know what the variables are. It's very difficult. 400 million over days, that's wild. Yeah, it's insane. The volume that's been pumped in has been nuts. Let's take a look at it. Pull up a daily chart. Yesterday, 225 million. Today, 208 million. Pretty close to 500 million. So it's like it's like 430 something. 432, 433. Do shorts have to cover synthetic shares first or real shares? They're going to cover whatever shares are on their balance sheet. So either way, they may not even know what they have. They may not even know that they have a naked short or a synthetic. I mean, if they've created the synthetic share, then yeah, they know. And there's ways for them to do that with like swap agreements and that discrepancy in the put call parity. There are ways for them to do that, and they would know, and they would get completely screwed on those positions. But yeah, I mean, if it's like direct shares, they're just going to cover what's on their balance sheet. Vix, put a heavy blanket down on the table will stop the noise. Sorry, guys. I'll stop touching the table. Are the influencers calling AMC at 100K crazy, or could it actually happen? No. I mean, they're not crazy. It's theoretically possible. Thoughts on this margin call article from the DTCC site? Drew, are you talking about the uncleared margin call rule or the uncleared margin rules with the phase 5? Because that's important. And we've gone over that a lot. Oh my. Sean, thank you so much for that big super. Thanks for sharing. I was looking for technical indicators for entry and exit, but if you don't trade options on them, that's fair. Thanks for the input. I'm up 70K on shares and AMC calls from January, buying and holding. Enjoy the super. Sean, thank you. Yeah, so you can easily trade options with technicals. I just like the quick in and out moves with news. It's very easy. You just wait for the news and then it comes out. News comes out. If the stock is moving, you can make a play. You can easily flip it for like 100 to 300% if it's a good one. You're in and out in 10 minutes. Done deal. But at that point, you're just waiting for news though. But Sean, thank you so much for that big super. They delayed NSCC 007 again. Which one is that? Antics. Can you send me a link to that? Let's see. Short interest didn't rise much. That's sad. We'll see it tomorrow. The thing is, though, here's the thing. Whenever the exchange reported short interest comes out, we see the Ortex estimates go out of whack for a couple of days. Then they kind of rebalance to where they're going to trend until for the next 2 weeks until we get the next exchange reported short interest. Because again, the numbers that we're seeing on Ortex are estimates. Yeah, also, if you guys don't mind, just dropping a like on the video. It just helps us get some more people in here. So thank you to all of you who have done it and who are going to do it. I really, really appreciate it. Let's see. What are the FTDs looking like? I haven't taken a look at these in a while. Yeah, nothing crazy yet. We'll see the FTDs really start to pop when we have our next leg up. But again, does it really matter if we have a giant spike in FTDs if they're not going to follow the rules and buy those shares back? Not really. We've seen it happen in the past with those T plus 35 or T plus 21 days. But yeah, we would just have to wait and see on those and just wait until the day that it is like supposed to happen. Sean, thank you so much for the super. Use the money toward blank and a blank with Gabe. I will. Don't worry. I'll have to buy a round of blank and blank. Let's see. I just got here. Start over. Trey. I mean, start over what? Let's see. The moon is 238,856 miles from our current position, Captain. Woohoo! That's pretty cool. That is very cool. All right, let's see. Payday tomorrow, spending half my check. Stilo. Woohoo! There you go. What are your thoughts on HCMC? Okay, so with HCMC, there's that lawsuit, but that's going to take years. And if they don't win the lawsuit, they're screwed. The stock is most likely going to go to basically zero. So it's a waiting game with that one. VIX, with companies buying millions of shares when the squeeze happens and they start selling their shares, will that bring it down? Doesn't really matter, honestly, because here's the thing. Retail's not buying them. They're not dumping to retail. When if we're squeezing, here's the thing. If we're actually squeezing and we see a crazy move on the stock, it starts absolutely going crazy. Retail and institutions aren't buying anymore. Retail and institutions are the sellers. So the roles are flipping. Right now, retail and institutions are the retail and the institutional longs are the buyers, and the short hedge funds are the sellers. So when we squeeze, those roles are going to flip. So then retail and the long institutions will then become the sellers, and the hedge funds who have been pumping those shares, like the short funds who have been pumping the shares into the market, are now going to become the buyers. So it's not like the institutions are dumping onto, like the long institutions are going to be dumping onto retail investors. Retail owns a crazy high amount of shares too. And when you think about what's going to happen, it's most likely going to be like a slower bleed out of like retail's position. The larger institution, the institutional longs could do it quicker. But if there's so much buying volume, like demand, getting pumped into the stock due to shorts covering, the stock's just going to pump. Let's see. Are the price brackets the same or have things changed? Xavier, it's whatever you think you should sell at. Like if you have a boatload of shares and you need to get out at 100, fair. Do what you got to do. If you got to get out 500, fair. Take care of yourself. 1,000, also fair. Any price that you need to get out, it's nobody's business what you're doing with your money. I don't care. And if anybody else is like telling you that they should care about what you're doing with your money, it's like they have it's selfish of them. Because when you think about the shorts coming in, or these fudders on CNBC that are like trying to say that, oh, AMC fundamentally overvalued, it's going up 5 or whatever they're saying. Well, a lot of them, it's came out that they're short AMC. So they have a selfish reason to say those things to try and influence the stock price. We just like the stock. I just try to report the truth on everything that's going on. And the same thing if people are mad at you for selling. If they're mad at you for selling, they're saying, well, you sold your shares, you added to the selling volume, and then it could have potentially impacted another person's height that they could sell their shares. This isn't like a, what do you call it? Like, yeah, the ape community is a community, but it's also the real world. You have to understand, you can't have 4.1 million people that are all going to think the same way and agree on one thing. It's just not going to happen. Do I think that a lot of people are going to hold to high levels? Absolutely. But I know that there's going to be other people that are saying that they're going to, but they're going to see the number in their account and be like, got to take it. Fair play. Take your money. It's yours. Do whatever you need to do with it. Nobody can fault you for that. Can you go over phase 5 possible impact? Yep. Let me pull it up. Let's see. I think it's this. Yeah. Okay. Here it is right here. Okay. The first 4 phases of UMR. Oh, okay. So brief recap for those of you guys who don't know about this. This has to do with the OTC derivatives market and how they're expecting an increase in the margin call, like the volume of margin calls that's going to be going out starting September 1st. Lil Will, thank you for the super, selling at 420.69. There you go. Sean, thank you so much for the super. All right, I'm out of here. Got to go find a toothless Mississippi girl who's cheating on her brunkle. All right, Sean, do what you got to do. Let's see. All right. So when we're thinking about this new, the phase 5, the first 4 phases of UMR have come into force in stages since 2016 and have affected banks, only banks. Many more firms, most on the buy side, will come into scope with phases 5 and 6, which are now delayed 12 months to September 2021 and September 2022. So 5 is coming in 2021, 6 is coming in 2022. The main difference between them is that it talks about this ANA threshold. Yeah, $8 billion for phase 6, $50 billion for phase 5. So who do these new phases effect. UMR's requirements for posting initial margin and variation margin are mandatory central clearing and mandatory central clearing of OTC derivatives are raising margin call volume and the amount of collateral required substantially. Furthermore, UMR mandates that initial margin be posted by both counterparties to each other, and this two-way margining be held in segregated account structures. So that's that third-party custodian. Phases 1 through 4, here's where it's interesting, covered banks, but phases 5 and 6 will predominantly impact funds, so hedge funds, and institutional investors. When these phases take effect, they will put stress on buy-side operating models and introduce new cost and regulatory reporting requirements for these firms. Okay, that's nuts. And the global OTC derivative market right now is like 500, like the last time it was reported, it was like $582 trillion. It's crazy high because think about it. It's like that Big Short example that I went over last night and the night before. When we're thinking about what Christian Bale's character, Michael Burry, did when he went to go to Goldman Sachs, they didn't have a product where you could short the MBS. Well, they made it for him. It's a OTC derivative. They entered into an agreement, a swap agreement with the credit default swaps, and that was how he was able to enter the trade. He was having to pay premiums, and if they were not able to pay the premiums, the contracts were then voided. Now, if this were to fall under the phase 5, they would both have to put up more money as collateral, and that collateral would be held by a third party. So there's 3 parties involved now too. So they can't mess around with all this stuff. It's going to be a lot harder for them to navigate this. Hey Vix, can you search how much shorts are losing on their short positions on a daily against AMC? Unusual Whales had a decent tweet about that. Let's take a look. Let's see how much the shorts have lost. I think Unusual had a tweet, but it had to do with both AMC and GameStop. Let me see if I can find it. I know they put something out. Oh, they tweet so much. This is hard. All right, I'm looking for it. It was something like, I think it had to have been like 250 million. It was yesterday, so I got to scroll down a lot. All right, I'm looking for it right now. Let's see. They lost $1 billion. They could have. Easily could have. 10 hours ago. Wait, is this one? Nope. Let's see. All right. We should be getting closer. Whoa, is it this one? Nope. Wait. Wait a second. Oh, here it is. This is how much the shorts lost yesterday. Here we go. With AMC up 20%, it is estimated that shorts would have lost nearly $910 million. Ooh, that's pretty nuts. I use all of STV's knowledge at the dinner table, and now my family thinks I'm smart. Little do they know I have no idea what I'm talking about. Nando, you're supposed to understand it. That's the whole point. Is tomorrow going to be green? Is Friday? I got to know. B-Jack. Nobody can really tell you that. Hey, SCV, how do you feel about the theory of AMC's chart action being cyclical? With I think you're referring to the fractals with what Astro's been saying. We ripped this week, and that was around the time that that charting was suggesting that we would start this next leg up, and it's going to last for about 2 weeks. That's what I've seen. So right now, that theory seems to be correct. Let's see how it plays out. I love the theory. I want it to be right. because it benefits me. I own AMC shares and options. So if the stock goes up, I make money. I want the theory to be correct. It's an awesome theory and it's played out so far this week. Let's see where it goes. I think it's more right than wrong right now. That's kind of where I'm at. And I'm trying to learn more about it so I can look at the chart for myself and kind of figure out where we're at. It's very cool. That's not including synthetic shorts, mod couple, 100%. Look at the FTDs. I did look at the FTDs. I had them pulled up. Nothing crazy recently. Million shares from... Yeah, see, Ortex does it strangely. Like, this isn't accurate numbers. They're adding them on a weekly basis. It's weird. What's up with the crazy amount of puts for January 21st at the 50-cent strike? Rich Greenfield seriously thought it seems sort of sketch. What? Hold up. That's weird. That would be that married put situation. January, what is it? 21st? Hold up. No, they didn't. Okay. Oh boy, this is good. Okay. So we haven't seen this before. Hold on, let me pull this up. All right, let's see. So there's a way to use these puts to hide short interest. Let me see if it's in this article right here. I want you guys to have a source and then I'll share it with you guys. That should not be there. These puts should not be here. What they do sometimes, they do this with here's what they do with the calls. They mess around with these deep in the money calls to basically kick the can down the road with their synthetics. The reason why they use deep in the money calls is because there's not a lot of volume and there's not a lot of open interest. So what they know that they can do is they can guarantee the other counterparty. So on an illiquid option chain, like right here, if you were to look at this $2 strike, let's just say this was a deep in the money call. For example, if there's only 5 volume on it today, there's nothing really here. And let's just use the 1.5. There's like no open interest on the chain. So you can basically guarantee the other counterparty. So you can go into agreement with another institution that is like, yeah, we're going to mess around with these options right now. You're going to basically give me the synthetic shares when I exercise and we'll kick the can down the road. There's a different way you can do it with puts though that I haven't fully looked into. I've got the call side. That's what I saw happening on AMC, but I haven't seen it with the puts yet. Let's see. Hedge funds could have done this. Married puts. I'm pretty sure it's called a married put. Here it is. I think this is in a... Okay. So same thing for the January 2023. Let's check a couple of other ones. Yeah, the open interest, it's very possible that this has to do with synthetics. Let's check some more monthlies. December, nothing crazy. November, nothing. October, nothing. September, a little bit. Oops. Let's check 2023. Jeez. Oh boy. All right. So this is going to be something that I'm going to have to take a deeper look into, but these puts can be used, from the best of my understanding, to kick the can down the road with these synthetics. This is the other way to do it. So there's the deep in the money calls, and then there's the deep out of the money puts. So this is getting interesting here. I heard something recently called a divorced put. I feel like that's a joke. I'm pretty sure it would be married puts. How do I pay taxes in the United States from Europe after the squeeze? Who do I have to contact then? Philip, I don't think you would. You would just pay taxes for where you're at. Let me see. I'm gonna keep looking for this. There's definitely a section in here where it's gonna tell me. Married put. Here we go. It hides short interest. The option market maker attains a market neutral position. Selling puts alone would create a net long position. Thus, in theory, the option market maker's naked short sale hedges against downward price moves. The options market maker receives a premium for the puts. In the example above, the $5 fee the market maker charges for renting his naked. Okay. After the married put is executed or exercised, the short seller then sells the shares into the market. Every time the short seller sells a share, his net short position increases due to his increased long position. And ooh. Interesting. Okay. This will be the video. This will probably be what I dig into tomorrow. Let me make a note of this. Okay. We're going to really go deep into this tomorrow because this is big. Oh yeah. Also, we saw the short squeeze alert happen for AMC. Where's the alerts on this thing? I think we would go. Maybe it's here. Trading signals. 3-day. Filter. August 24. AMC. Come on, Ortex. Don't fail me now. No. Here we go. Where was this? Yesterday. There was a significant short squeeze buy signal for a large cap company with a 46.7% track record. It has returned on average 25.77% over 2 trading days. So the mean return, 25.77%. The first time I believe that one of these came out, it was around 40%. So the minimum return, negative 17%. The maximum return, 350%. The recommended holding period that Ortex has for this alert, again, this is just how Ortex reports stuff, 2 trading days. So over today and tomorrow, we could expect to see a big move up due to the data that Ortex is screening, not screaming. Let's see. Crazy how much we can learn each and every day. 100%. They announced the squeeze alert on Twitter too. Yeah, I got it right here now. The United States gets 15% actually. Philip, I would just talk to a tax professional. I'm not so sure about that one. Banger video coming tomorrow. I mean, you guys just told me about these puts that are just wildly out of the money and the open interest is super high. They're definitely doing something with those. Maybe somebody's already got a video about it already. Have you guys seen any other videos today where people have talked about those puts? Let me know. Has anybody already posted a video on those deep out of the money puts for January 2022 and January 2023? SCV, where are you from? I'm from Connecticut. Beats by Jay. I've been digging into the options chain a lot. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. Tomorrow, keep an eye on the options volume in real time if you can. I definitely will. I don't give financial advice at all. It was on Reddit before. Okay. Andrew Money made a video about it. All right. Messed up if that's how they're kicking the can down the road. I mean, they were doing it with GameStop. Simulate and Trade did. Okay, cool. I'll watch those. Vix, what are your thoughts on the 40s and 50s for September 17th? My response every single time with options is that if you can afford to lose the money that you're going to put in and you don't care about it, go for it. If you think that money is better spent elsewhere, don't put it on options. Options are incredibly risky. You got to make sure you know what you're getting into and the risks involved. Simulating trade. Gotcha. VIX, how do hedge funds hide their shorts without reporting? Well, it looked like before they were doing it with the deep in the money calls, but with these puts that we're seeing here, it now looks like they're doing it with these deep out of the money puts. Again, it looks like Andrew and Simulate and Trade. Michael's saying Jeffrey Forbes did too. So is Cree. So those three people have videos about it. So definitely go watch those. Because if they're talking about it and because there's a way, I just haven't looked into it as much. I just looked at the call side because I would look at the put side for AMC, and it never looked like something was happening, but now it is. So that's going to be something that we need to keep an eye on over the next couple of months. Honestly, like that's a really important development. Oh, Cryan did it? I thought he was talking about swaps today. When I skimmed through it, it was mainly about swaps. And what was it? It was swaps and then some other stuff too. I forget exactly what was in it. Why was AMC's loss percentage so much lower than GME's? About 4.6% for GameStop and 1.6% for AMC. It just had to do with what buyers and sellers were willing to transact at today. Honestly, one of the reasons could be that AMC trades at a lower price. So it's easier for retail investors to add demand. GameStop, it's a lot harder. So if there's more demand and people can buy more shares of one than the other, then you can kind of like it'll like provide like more of a backstop, if that makes sense. Did you move into your new apartment? I did. They're gonna try to make some money on the way down from the squeeze. No, that's not what it is. They're using those puts to hide short interest. Shimu, your YouTube's down. That doesn't make any sense. You're on my stream right now. Yeah, if it has a lower float, it should move more too. That's the other thing. Damien, don't come in here with sass. I'll come back at you with sass. You don't want that. Make sure you guys aren't. Yeah, no. Coupled with how cyclical the jumps on AMC and GME have been at the beginning of each quarter. Yeah, lower CT? Nah. What do you guys think? I'm from Greenwich? One of those Greenwich folk? Nah. Let's see. Party at Vix's apartment? I mean, we could, but it just wouldn't be very enjoyable, I don't think. Yeah. We're not putting our sassy pants on tonight. Bliss got some microvision calls today. There you go. There you go. All right. Other thing we got to talk about. Margin debt coming back. There was another article about this today. Let me see. Rising leverage tends to confirm U.S. equity rallies, meaning that people are taking out loans and getting levered up positions. It is not new record highs for margin debt that we worry about. We get concerned when margin debt stops rising, to suggest that investors have begun to reduce their leverage. Now, when we pull up the margin debt chart, here's what I want you guys to understand with deleveraging. Almost every single time it leads the market. Why won't this thing load? Come on. Maybe it's on here. This might be better. Okay, here we go. This is the S&P 500 versus the margin debt. So it leads market correction. So right here, March 2000, margin debt tanks. really quickly. Then the S&P starts to go. Again, July 2007, right before 2008, margin debt tanks, market goes up, but then the market starts to come down. April 2011, pretty much the same time. Right here, margin debt came down a little bit. The market had a little sell-off, came a little flat, came back. Nothing really. But right now, look at the trend of the S&P. It's been ripping. It is still going up, and the margin debt is curling. We're going to get the margin debt numbers at some point. For August, we're probably going to get it next month. I think these are July numbers. The most recent ones are for July. Oh, June. No, so we'll let's see. In July. No, this is okay. So this should be updated through July. So we're going to get August numbers at some point. So here's the other chart. This is a little easier to read. It's the same thing, but we can see margin debt leads, margin debt leads, leads. It's leading right now. So what this could mean is that there's going to be a lot of institutional sell-offs in the market. Now, when that happens, they're going to do it before the market corrects. We know that this is going to happen. Goldman Sachs liquidated 25% of their equity position in Q2. Why are they doing that? Well, they obviously don't think that the market is just going to keep trending higher forever. They thought August was going to be weak. August has not been weak. They got their timing wrong. Do I think that they're wrong? No. I think that where the market is right now, especially with the tapering, the debt ceiling, the over leveraging, and honestly, when you bake in the potential losses that these institutions could take from their short positions on AMC and GameStop, that would be nuts. Let's see. What's the highest a stock has risen in a short squeeze? I think DGAS is like the highest one that I've seen. This is delisted though. It's not. This is a delisted stock. Let me see if it actually shows what happened. Yeah. So this was a Credit Suisse error. Now, I'm not completely familiar with the squeeze, but this was delisted. So we can see right here, delisted. This is not trading anymore. They forgot to delist it on like one of the exchanges, I believe. And for some reason, the price of it just went ballistic. This is an oil and gas inverse ETF. It's an inverse triple leveraged ETF. Volkswagen, to the best of my knowledge, is probably the highest, the highest true short squeeze that we've seen. In terms of a percentage gain, Overstock probably. When we look at Overstock, we saw it go from 253 to 128. And yeah. So we saw this go from 253 to 128. We saw Volkswagen shoot up to 200, then to 400, then back down to 200, and then ripped up all the way to, I think it was 1200 was about what Volkswagen got to. So Overstock and Volkswagen are the two big ones. GameStop's big FOMO and gamma squeeze, with some shorts covering, got all the way up to, on this weekly chart, daily. Yeah, I think it peaked at like 480, I believe. So it got up there. Oh, Kodak from, I don't think, I mean, the KODK? I mean, yeah, that was pretty nuts. That was like when Kodak was coming out with like pandemic something and they just ripped. That was a crazy day. I do remember that day with Kodak, and then everybody was trying to chase it. I did make some money on a couple Kodak jumps. Like I think it might have been this one or this one. There was always money to be made when Kodak started to jump. You just had to get in right as you heard about it. But yeah, those are a couple of the other ones. I'm not sure if Kodak was a squeeze. Any thoughts on DraftKings hitting all-time high? I used to own DraftKings, but I sold it for more AMC, which is fine. Leaning towards more calls just in case, but both seem imminent. Go for it. I think they were cleared some kind of wrongdoing for Kodak. You know what sucks? I literally went to Walmart to find Liquid IV because of you, and they didn't have it. Alan, that's terrible. That's very disappointing. Was Bitcoin a short squeeze? I mean, Tesla was technically a long squeeze. Like the thing when people talk about AMC being a long squeeze, it's very possible. But the thing is that I don't think if it was like a Tesla like longer term squeeze, we would never see the short interest go to zero. We would most likely see the short interest just continuously go up, because we're gonna see the stock go up, shorts start to cover, stock goes up higher, more shorts come in because they're going to keep pushing that narrative of the stock being fundamentally overvalued. And then the stock will go up even higher because there's going to be more shorts covering. And it's just going to be that cycle of like shorts coming in, shorts covering, shorts coming in, shorts covering. And it would just keep going up like that. Let's see. I missed the talking cat too. Not me, the other one. I miss Kringle too. Kringle's awesome. STV, you missed the convo. What happened? Yeah, Alex, I think you can short cryptos now. STV, how many days have shorts been on loan as of today? I bet you it's 48 days or less. Let's take a look at that. Come on, Ortex. All right. Where is it? Right here. They have been on loan for 51 days. Do you think there will be a fake squeeze than the actual squeeze of all synthetics covered? Anthony, that's a very good question. At this point, no. If the price goes up with like a fake squeeze and we have like the FOMO rally, the gamma, some of the shorts actually starting to cover, they won't be able to control that. In order to have a fake squeeze, you would need to be able to control the price movement. And if they could control the price movement, they would never let it go up. They would have never even let it go to 70 last time. They would have never let it go to 20 the first time. And they would have literally put AMC into bankruptcy. So if they had that much power, we wouldn't even be in this situation right now. Walmart is going to rocket soon. I love Walmart. I've played some Walmart calls before, and they usually hit pretty good. Freaking Wally World. What's the sitch on TMI? Is he good? On Twitter, he is now the censored investor. Wait, is he the uncensored investor now? Did he get his stuff back? Let me see. Let's see. What's going on with TMI? Yeah, I think he's still. Yeah, YouTube's still messing with him. It's like this weird glitch, I think, now that they took off his streaming and then they can't turn it back. It's very strange. I thought there was like some weird time clock on it where it was just going to revert automatically, but I guess not. Also, if you guys don't mind just dropping a like on the video, it just helps us get some more people in here. So thank you to all of you guys who have done that and who are going to. It really means a lot. Let's see. SB, I've been watching you in TMI for months just to make sure. This is about AMC, right? Yes. This is about AMC, Nando. Vix, what are your go-to drinks at the bar? Vodka soda, vodka Red Bull. If I'm at a college bar, I get these bowls. But other than that, not really. Joseph, thank you so much for that. Super. I really, really appreciate it. How can all apes get paid if hedgies buy thousands and we have, let's say, 100 shares per ape? Won't their shares push down on their profit gains? No, Joseph, it doesn't mean like there's no sequence of like, oh, if you have more shares, you get to get your order filled first, and then you have to wait in line. If there's a bid price and we're at these really high levels and you want to get your order filled really quickly and you put a limit order at the bid, you're going to get your order filled. So yeah, it may have, it's possible. Again, we went over this earlier, how the roles would switch. So like retail and long institutions are the buyers right now, and the short hedge funds are the sellers. So those roles would switch. So there would still be buying volume and they would still be pushing it up. It's just the roles have switched. They would just recirculate the shares, but the prices would be different. Red Bull tastes funny without vodka? Yeah, it does. I'm thinking STV likes vodka. Yeah. Yeah, when I was really partying, I would just be the dude at a party with a bottle. It was bad. Vodka green ape. There you go. Wasn't the Piggly Wiggly squeeze just one dude versus all of... Oh, interesting. That might have been. Tito's is good. Mine used to be a New Amsterdam Red Berry because that was like the cheapest and best one that I could find. My fellow apes, save your ammo for AMC. No. We are not going to have any Matt hate in here. Lucas, thank you so much for that, Superman. I really appreciate it. Once the shorts are forced to cover, could you see some of them establishing short positions again after we squeeze? Absolutely. I don't think that they're going to want to try that again, though. I think they're going to be too worried that they're going to take big losses again. But I do think that other institutions definitely will try to take out short positions on AMC once we get to those really high levels, because it's only a matter of time at that point. Like once we start really ripping, it's only a matter of time before the shorts cover what they need to. We go to these crazy high levels and then we start to come back down. So yeah, I do think, and that's why I think AMC and GameStop, honestly, are going to move like this over the next 10 years after the squeeze. Let me pull out this chart to a 5-year. We're going to see the initial really big rip up. So this isn't really reflective of that. We're going to see it come down. Then we're going to see the shorts cover. It'll come down, up, down, up, down. It's going to be very, very volatile. So if you want to own AMC or GameStop for a significant amount of time after the squeeze, there's money to be made. Like if you buy back in at these low levels, we don't know what the low level of AMC will get to after the squeeze. Eventually, it'll probably have another mini short squeeze or gamma squeeze again. Any whiskey lovers? Yeah. Every once in a while. I think hedgies will short high, but not hold. They will cover as it comes down. That's why it will bounce so much. Matt Kramer, very possible. Vix, kudos to you for getting your degree, but with all your knowledge of the market, what's the point of a finance degree? There's no real point to a finance degree anyway. Like unless you're trying to go into honestly, here's the thing. If you want to go into finance nowadays and you really want to crush it and you want to go to like a hedge fund or something, you don't major in finance. You major in computer science or econ at like Harvard. Like if you want to go and do investment banking, then yeah, get a finance degree, figure out how stuff works, how to calculate things, then you're fine. But if you want to go work for a fund, they probably don't want, like they want you to just be a smart individual. They don't necessarily need you to be in the finance space, if that makes sense. Jason, thank you so much for the super. I really appreciate it. A human, 1, buys a $50 call expiring next week. 2, sells a $60 call expiring in 2 weeks. Stock rockets to 120. Human can exercise the $50 call, loses no profits. No, you would make the spread. I think. I mean, if you bought, you would make the spread on them. That's a debit spread. So he can finally be a financial advisor. That's the thing. If you have your licenses, you can't, this is not possible. I wouldn't be able to be on here with you guys. SCV, your degree will be helpful with boomers. Will it though? Appreciate everything you do for the community. Zero business. Thank you. I know for me, you put any anxiety that may come up to ease. Zero business. Thank you so much, man. Why wouldn't they just cover their shorts and put their money towards long positions instead of fighting against this trade? It's like a, what do you call it? It's like the Cold War. Like and think of like the United States and Russia with the weapons as hedge funds. Neither one of them wants to cover or hit the button to send the weapons over first. Because if they do, they know what's going to happen. In the Cold War situation, they're just kind of like a giant nuclear fallout. In the short squeeze situation, the first one that covers gets the best price, but the stock rips and you're going to mess with the entire flow of that like backroom deal financial market stuff because you're screwing over somebody that you most likely are doing a lot of business with anyway. How do you think plays like AMC in the future are going to be affected by social media and the market as a whole? Honestly, this is kind of like what everybody calls a black swan event. It's very difficult for something like this to happen. Like, what else is it going to be? Is it going to be another short squeeze play? Like, it could be, but I don't know. Like, I think everybody after this is going to have their money. A lot of people, here's the other thing with social media, the people that make their money on this play aren't going to be watching YouTube anymore. They're just going to be like, I'm rich. I'm going to go on the beach. The other thing is that like, think about the people who have been very active in the community of a while and all the sacrifices they made over the last year. Like, yeah, there's positives and negatives. We all had a great time. It's awesome coming to hang out with you guys all the time. But like after this is done, I'm going to want to go do things. Like I'm trying to start doing it now too. Like I focus too much on this stuff. And like over the past 2 months, I've been like, I can't keep like, even when I'm offline, still think about being online, if that makes sense. Like think about the next piece of DD or the next thing. It's like, it's okay to take a break sometimes, which I think is going to happen to a lot of people. After the squeeze, they're going to be like, I want to take a break from the market. You just made a bunch of money. And now you need a little bit of a breather. You got to admit though, there will be a fear factor to shorting after this. Ooh, it could be. Let's see. I'd like to see the look on the bartender's face if you asked for a vodka and hedgy tears. That would be funny. You get no breaks. Yeah, I know. Have you looked into the cycle theory? This guy named Astro? Yeah, Misty. I had Astro on my stream the other day. No break fix. You got to keep doing the vids. No. I know. I will. Don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. It's just when I'm not doing the videos, I got to not think about doing the videos, if that makes sense. Vodka and hedgy tears. There we go. When this squeezes, I'm going to live on a beach on some tropical island for the rest of my life and relax, says MC Prosperity. There you go. AMC's price action will be screwed up for a long time after the MOAS, says Millie. I agree. Good evening, STV. How's everyone doing? I'm doing good, Larry. You should check out what he's been saying this morning about his cycle theory. Yeah, I didn't see what he said this morning, but with what he said so far, it's panned out pretty nicely. And as I said before, I want him to be right. Like I really want him to be right because I think I've said it before. I think we're 1 or 2 June-like events away from really blowing the top off of this thing. SCV going to do OnlyFans again? Absolutely. When did OnlyFans ever stop though? Let's see. Have you looked at Cryan's latest masterpiece? I read it earlier. It connects with the uncleared margin rules, which is why I really took a look into it. I was going to touch on it in the video today, but I just thought that I needed to do more research on it to get a better understanding of what's going on. But yeah, very good one if you want to go take a look at it. Do you think there's any truth to the swap packaging DT that was posted on Supersong today? Until something is proven wrong, and if it looks good at face value, it could be legit. We've seen so many crazy things happen that it's possible for anything to be true. Jason, Thank you so much for the super. I really appreciate it. Bought this because I need attention. Thanks. Thank you, Jason. I really appreciate it. Also, do you think I'm finally I'll finally be able to get a date once I'm a millionaire? Kyle? Hopefully, man. Vix, just a quick question. Have you considered dilution of shares when the squeeze happens? They only have 46,000 shares. They're not going to be able to do a whole lot with that. I mean, if it squeezes to like 10, 50, 100,000, those 46,000 shares become a whole lot more valuable. If only I had no morals, I would have made millions. I love my fellow apes too much, says Anthony. Interesting. You'll get a bunch of gold diggers, says Lee. There you go. If alcohol wasn't getting... Oh my God. What do you think about others? The other penny stocks you cover, like BNGO? I like BNGO. I haven't really looked at them in a while. But yeah, I haven't covered anything but AMC for like, I don't know, 4 months, 4 or 5 months. You don't have to delete your OnlyFans anymore. STV, they're not banning explicit content. Yes, perfect. Who forces the hedgies to buy back synthetics? They don't necessarily know if they're holding synthetics or not, if that makes sense. Like, it's entirely, this is something that I've been saying for a while, that a part of it is them messing around with swaps and the option chain, and doing all that BS to create those synthetic shares to artificially push the price down. Yeah, they can do that. The other side of it, though, is that true naked short, where the bank, the prime broker, or whoever the lender of the security is, allows somebody to short, but the prime brokerage operation doesn't have the shares. Now, the hedge fund may not even know that they're getting a naked share. They're just like, oh, cool, they must have met the locate requirement, and now we're good to go. Uh, 007, need your PO box to send you a hang in there cat poster. That wall is looking pretty boring right now. Ooh, I actually can get a PO box. It's like, I don't know which direction it is, but I think it would be that way. There's like a UPS where I can get a PO box where if you guys want to send me random stuff, that could be what I do on my Twitch, like Matt does, like the unboxings. That would be pretty fun. Trace Cat Titan said I actually bought some avocados. I was craving some. There you go. Jason Fox with the foxes. There you go. All right, let's see. If nobody but the hedgies know how many synthetic shares there are, how will we trust that they've covered them? Robert, it wouldn't. You're never going to know if they've covered everything, and you'll never see it either. If Ortex was the actual numbers, you would see the short interest go down and then shoot right back up, because when the price goes up, there's going to be other shorts coming in because they're like, oh, we can definitely make some money on the downside on this now. It shot up too much. So you're never really going to get a true understanding of what the short interest actually is. Are we even allowed to talk about avocados here? Yeah, of course. Let's see. They have literally been manipulating the market for like 40 years. How can no one know anything or allows this? Because it benefits them. They're all in the same circle. The lawmakers are, most of them are former. If you're in like the banking committee or like the finance committees in the government, most likely you have experience at these large institutions. So it's all the same people making the rules to benefit their buddies. They get these nice payout. Like, it's just this circulation of just BS that's been happening. What they didn't account for was a little break in that circle, which was this right here, this short squeeze situation where people found out what's going on. And like Trade Spotting said in one of the videos I've seen, it's like, we know how you mess things up now. Like, we understand it. Like, we see it. There's so many people doing all of this DD on this, and we, like, We know how they do things now, or we have a way better understanding than we did a year ago of how the market really works. Can you can imagine all the crates of avocados sent to TMI? That would be hilarious. If TMI ever gets a PO box, guys, just send them a bunch of avocados. Or don't do that. Don't send them avocados. Pam says, please smash the like button. Thank you, Pam. Can you talk about how when we squeeze, we will likely rinse cycle many times, price rise, then dramatic drop and repeat? I mean, you said it right there. Like, that's just what's going to happen. We're going to see those big run-ups. We're going to see that wave of shorts, in my opinion, basically covering what they need to. And then we're going to see after that, retail and institutions aren't going to be really buying anymore. So then the price is going to come back down. We'll settle in these ranges unless it just rips to a level and it's fair game. All shorts are going to need to cover now. So we don't know what the situation is going to end up as. It's like, it could be the long squeeze or it could be that really quick couple of days. Everybody's covering and we rip. Kyle made $57,000 in January from GME call options. Back in February, I adopted a corgi and named him Melvin after the hedge fund we almost bankrupted. Jeez, crazy to see that he's fully grown before the MOAS. Kyle, that's pretty cool. Unusual Will said he's going to make an ETF that follows Nancy Pelosi's trades. That is like the best idea I've ever heard. That is so smart. Scotty, thank you so much for the super. I'm not trying to spread FUD, but with TMI and others getting taken down, do you think the SEC will try to regulate social media investment channels? Okay, so with the people getting taken down, what it seems like is like bot attacks. Like somebody will like bot the like certain like flags on the account, and if it hits a certain threshold, then the account gets flagged and the YouTube algorithm gets it. So that seems to be what's happening. We don't know though. It's like this weird, like we think it's YouTube, but we also think it could be something else. It's like this weird thing that we're in right now where it's like, oh, well, we don't know what we can say because we talk about stocks and then all of a sudden TMI's channel's gone or Matt's channel's gone. It's crazy. Are you in the fantasy football league with TMI and others? Of course. Kyle, no, you're good. You can share that. Yeah, that if Unusual Whales is going to make an ETF that follows Nancy Pelosi's trades, that's going to probably be the highest performing ETF of all time. It depends on their holding period. Like remember when Buzz came out, it was like that social media hype thing. It was like 1 month delayed or 2 weeks delayed where they could add the stock. So the run up had already happened. So everybody kind of knew going into it that the stock was just going to tank because what they were adding into it had already ran up. So it was basically just the chasing ETF. Like they would see stocks run up, people would talk about it, and then after the run up happened, that ETF would just chase it. If you get a PO box, can we send you a bunch of ice cream? You can do whatever you want. What does FUD mean? Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Let's see. You should send Matt a can of peas. I was so confused about the peas thing last night. Like you guys sent me that and I was like, what is going on here? When do we know for sure that shorts have covered? How to verify that? You won't be able to. Let's see. FUD can apply to any decision you make in your life. Yeah. Let's see. More than my boys here are getting it. Yeah, no. It does. Okay. Like, we'll be fine. Don't worry. Who is your NFL team? Who does TMI like? I mean, I was a big Patriots fan for a while, but I wasn't watching a lot of football. I'm not really sure who TMI likes. I'm pretty sure Trey likes the Vikings because he's from Minnesota. Other than that, I'm not really sure. No TMI tonight. I mean, TMI usually pops on for power half hour. Quick question. Does Ortex report on GME? I've never seen an AMC or GME YouTuber show the GME Ortex data. Yeah, we can look at it. Let's see. Where would it be? Right here. So GameStop's utilization 37.89. Short interest 13.28. Percentage of the free flow. Okay, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The percentage of the free flow on loan is 11%, but the short interest is 13.3. How does that work? Like how does that work? If there's 11% right here of the free flow on loan, well, then the maximum short interest should be 11.85%, but it's 13.3%. So we know that they're messing with a lot of these numbers with those deep out of the money puts and the deep in the money calls, where they can basically spoof their short interest and make it look like they are meeting their broker's closeout requirements when in reality they're not. Let's see. Oh, Kinky Kong, thank you so much for the super. Hi, longtime listener, first time caller. I'm your neighbor in Massachusetts. About the SEC, though, I hear GG is about freedom on social media. Awesome. I mean, I do my best to never say, like, I just talk about the situation and just explain what's going on to people. I'm not talking about like trading. You can do whatever you want with your money. I'm not telling anybody to buy AMC. What's your prediction on the gamma squeeze? We kind of already saw it. We saw it yesterday, kind of. If we cross 50, we're going to get another wave and we'll probably shoot even further. SBC, the Reddit article from... I did not. Family, can you send me that on Twitter? Let's see. Favorite casino game? Blackjack. Why do some OTC stocks spike when AMC and GME spike? It's very possible that they're all in the same basket that these institutions are shorting. Beard of Doom. Thank you so much for that. Super. People talk about time travel like, oh no, we'll change the present as we know it, yet nobody thinks their actions today will mold the future. We are the future. Bring the doom. That's a cool one. Thank you so much, Beard of Doom. Don't forget, Matt switched to limes today. From what? How soon could we expect another gamma squeeze? Well, it depends. Like September is pretty solid, but the big gamma potential is out at 145. So we would really have to see a big jump. But there's different stair steps along the way. Like, let me show you right here. So when we look at September 17th, we see 18,000 at 45, decent amount, then 15,000 at 50, 10,000 at 70. And these are going to jump up, I believe, over the next couple of weeks. 16,000 at 90, 14,000 at 100. So there are these levels stepping up that if we cross, we get a little bit of a thruster boost. But then the big one, 145, it's basically 68,000 contracts. If they were to have to hedge all of those contracts by buying shares, it would cost them way more money than it did to hedge those $40 strikes back in June. So that's just going to put a lot more pressure on a lot of these institutions. Thanks for showing the Ortex data. Anytime. Nando has a big test in the morning. Nando, what do you have a test for? Macy's had down to the minute negative beta on big moves today was interesting. Yeah, we can talk about negative beta real quick. So AMC, I've seen the 1 year beta be negative. I've seen the 5 year beta be positive. I've seen the 1 year beta be as low as negative 17. I've also seen it. Some people were saying it's positive. Here's the thing. If AMC is a super manipulated stock. We know that. So if the market starts to come down, they're just going to manipulate it even more to the downside. Just because it has a negative beta doesn't necessarily mean that it has to follow like that correlation. Are you still playing Roblox? Nepal, I was in and out for like 20% yesterday. Why not make a Cathie Wood ETF? Because Cathie Wood already has ETFs. ARK K, ARK G, ARK F, ARK W. Oh, lemons on the chart were no longer working, so we switched to limes. There you go. Guys, the whole price target for tomorrow thing, nobody knows. Nobody has any idea. Thanks for that explanation. Anytime, Russell. Dos Equis. Oh, you guys are talking about drinks now, huh? Having some fun in there. Price target tomorrow is $1 kajillion. Yeah. All we know is that the chart won't go left. It'll go up, down, right, won't go left. Astro knows. Astro probably does have a really good idea at this point. With that cyclical and fractal chart pattern that he's been looking at, it looks right. Right now, it looks like he's been spot on with what he's saying. So let's see what happens. Any brokerage preference, anything that you're comfortable with. If you don't want to be on a payment for order flow brokerage, then go to something like Fidelity or E-Trade, or I believe Interactive Brokers allows you to directly route to the exchange. Astro says no one knows, not even him. There we go. See, Astro's the guy that has the pattern that's been decent at predicting over these last 2 weeks, and he even says he doesn't know. We're talking Citadel. They can probably make it go left too. I mean, that would be hilarious. You would know something's up if it just started going the other way. That would be the wildest day in the market. Russell, I'm not sure which SEC ruling you're talking about. If you're talking about the Phase 5 UMR, we've covered that a lot tonight. I don't want to rehash it. But yeah. Yo, STV, Brian, thank you so much for the super. STV, thanks for all the DD you do and the knowledge you and the ape community provide. AMC to the effing moon. Brian, thank you so much. TD lets you direct route as well. Oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. That is very cool. Oh, you're good, Russell. Let's see. I think I tweeted you that article. I'm not too sure if I did it right. These guys like you have found some fun patterns. Family. I'm going to need it DM to me. It's not going to work. Yeah, I need it to I would need it to what do you call it? So shoot me a DM with that article because I'm not going to be able to find it. Public does not sell your orders either. I think you're right on that one. I believe TMI always comes on the last 15 minutes of every stream. Yeah, he usually comes on for power half hour. I sent him the link. Let me see if it went through. Sometimes it doesn't go through. Yeah, it did. I mean, it's been a long day. TMI's had a long day. Major run-up I see coming next week, Monday through Wednesday. Yeah, so here's the thing. Tomorrow starts the Jackson Hole Symposium. It's a big Fed meeting. If they start talking about tapering and they're going to taper sooner than expected, market's not going to like that. It's going to go down. AMC's probably going to have a couple of red days going into the end of the week. Nothing to be worried about because those short-term dips in the market usually get bought up right away. If we start next week really strong, then I easily see that we could rip. When the squeeze happens, can we sell any amount of shares at any time, or does it get blocked once you sell a certain amount of shares? Lewis, the only thing you'll run into is if you are, I think there's a like a dollar amount limit at some brokerages. I'd have to look into that though. Yeah, TD owns Thinkorswim. TD is Thinkorswim. Oh, what's up, Rhode Island? Can a short squeeze bypass a gamma squeeze? The short squeeze is going to send the stock higher, but the gamma squeeze is going to get it up to the short squeeze levels. Because the gamma squeeze and short squeezes both result in the same thing, buying pressure. It's just for different reasons, if that makes sense. Hey STB, what's a great way to find good plays intraday? Stock twits or FinViz screener? Is there a better way? There are a couple of Twitter accounts. I like to for news flips with options. There's a couple of Twitter accounts. Walter Bloomberg's pretty good. There's definitely a couple of other ones that we would have to look at that I have to look into too that I would need. But you just follow those Twitter accounts, turn on notifications, you'll get news like that, and you'll usually be able to get into plays quicker than the average person will see the news and the stock will already be moving. So that benefits you to get the news quicker. Shan, thank you so much for the super. Can you give a base theta explanation and include an example? Like 0.012 is good and 0.1467 is bad. Yeah, so for theta, it's just time decay. The higher the theta, you're just going to have more, I call it theta burn. It's just going to decrease the value of your option if the underlying stock doesn't move in the direction you need it to. So if it can't overcome what it needs to counteract theta, then your option is just going to decrease in value. So if a contract has high theta, you're going to be in for a wild ride because if the stock doesn't go in your direction really quickly, your option is going to quickly depreciate. But Shan, thank you so much for the super. Ooh, Tiblio, yeah. So my thing about those option screeners is it's really good at unusual options activity. But for me personally, they're great. Tiblio, awesome. Unusual whales, awesome. Just for me personally, I like to have like a concrete reason behind taking a trade. So there could be news that comes out and that's why there's unusual options activity. But you don't know that when you're just looking at Tiblio sometimes, I think. I'm not really familiar with their platform, so maybe it is. But I just look for the actual news, see what the stock is doing. If it's going or falling, take a position off there and see what happens. Oh, family, thank you. Let's see. Is this the article? Okay, yeah, family. I will take a look at that. Thanks for sending that to me. Some guy on Fox Business said there are whispers they may want wait to taper due to the new wave. Yeah, I've also seen charts that say that new illness has peaked. So anybody I was going to put that in the video too today because Kramer was coming on and talking about AMC and how that new illness, the new wave of the illness is going to hurt AMC. But Goldman and a couple of these other institutions are like, yeah, we're past the hump. We're fine. But again, that's not medical stuff. That's just looking at the charts that Goldman has put out and some of the other institutions as well. Ben, Walter Bloomberg's pretty good. What's your major? Finance. Family says, I can't believe I figured that out. Seems like AMC is teaching me new things. I think it's teaching all of us new things every day. SCV in 1,000 words or less. Oh boy, am I about to go on a rant here? Can you explain what we have been seeing happen to our favorite movie theater company this last week? Oh, I could do it in 3 words. Boom, boom, candles. What time of day will the information come out about the stock that might have an effect on AMC? Texter, I don't know what you're talking about there. Ben, anytime. I need a recommendation to move out of Webull too so I can move stocks into a Roth. I think you can have a Roth in Webull. I know you can have IRAs over there. I'm not sure. I mean, quick Google search on that one. It's real. I try to toe the line because telling people where to go for their broker is like giving financial advice. So I can't like, I don't think I can just recommend it. Honestly, like it's not even like, it's just a personal preference thing. What's happening on September 1st? The phase 5 uncleared margin rules are coming in, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on these institutions that have a very high amount of OTC derivative exposure. So futures, swaps, options, flex options, like Randall was talking about. Auto spy. I mean, yeah, it's just like, it doesn't, just some of the stuff he says is just, it's just idiotic sometimes. Sometimes he does say really good stuff, but when he talks about AMC, he's just talking out of his rear end most of the time. SNDL, they have a weird business model. Like what they were doing, like their sales weren't working so great. So they were like buying other companies at one point. They were acquiring like new companies. So I don't know. I haven't looked at them in a while, but they do pop up every now and again when we see these like short squeeze stocks start to play out. I wonder how many shares Kramer has. I don't know. Let's see. UKA here. Any new information on the new CAT system? I don't think so. I think that's September though. Chris, what'd you say? I didn't see you. STV must be mad at me. I'm not mad at you. Oh, what's up, Chris? All right, yeah, I see your message now. How you doing, Chris? I just didn't see it. Did not see it. Let's see. If I make blank, what is that? If I make you're naming it the Jim Cramer? That's funny. Oh, Chris, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. How's school going this far? I don't start until next week. What's your expectation for tomorrow? I mean, I think it's very possible that we shoot after today's consolidation day, but it's also very possible that we get some broad market news that sends it down. We don't really know at this point. We're kind of in that like limbo period. Thresher, what's up, STV? Hope you're having a good one. Take it easy. Thanks for streaming. Anytime, man. Called JG Wentworth today and said my money is on. They said your money's on the way. There you go. SEV, you are hardcore with the updates, man. Out of everyone covering AMC on YouTube, you keep the info flowing hardcore. Appreciate it very much. Please keep it up, big dog. Ben, thank you. Millie, that's funny. Stay away from Twitter spaces. So much drama. Chris, I looked at my Twitter today and I can run my own space now. This is like day one. And I don't think I'm going to do it ever, but I do have access. Oh, what's up, McGee? SCV decided to sell a bunch of silver from our AMC, hoping to get that money in time. I think you'll be all right, Rhode Island. Let's see what happens, though. I mean, you have physical silver. I mean, that's probably going to be like a wire, like a couple wire transfers, and then you got the money. What time of day do you think the Fed will release information tomorrow? I don't know. I'm pretty sure Powell is speaking on Friday, though. So that's really what I'm looking for. Powell's comments on Friday. Oh, Millie, yeah, I'm down to go to Miami with you. Big yellow bird. I mean, I don't think there was really no like signs of covering today. There could have been some covering yesterday with those price movements to the upside, but not much. Let's see. Shimu says I would send super chats, but I'm all in on AMC to the moon. That's fine. You guys don't have to send supers if you don't want to. Banks are more over leveraged than the housing bubble. Yeah, it's not good right now. It's like they're not in a good spot. The hedge funds are hedging to cover the in the money call options. Do they actually own those shares? If yes, then can they use them to short if the call falls out of the money? Eric, that's a good question. They're not technically using them to short, but when the option runs in the money, then they buy the shares. Then if the stock runs out of the money and they don't need that short-term hedge on, then they can sell the shares, which just adds to the selling volume. So that's the same way that it can work to the downside too. Downside and upside, it's like that hedge, unhedge to see like where the price is going to go. And that's why AMC looks more volatile than GameStop sometimes, because it'll just get ping-ponged around because of all of those options. SV, do you play chess? No. You mentioned if we can get a run above 50, we could see 200. No, it's more of above 145. Do you think all going to plan that would happen by mid-September? M1 seed? Yeah, it really has to do with a big gamma squeeze past 145. Kyle, thank you so much for the super. I think you sent a link. This is Melvin at 16 weeks. Oh, it's a picture of your dog. Awesome. Do any of your professors own AMC? I don't know. I haven't met any of them yet because school starts next week. But last semester, there was a professor with like a very particular accent. And I heard that same voice in a space call when I first hopped on Twitter Spaces. And I really thought that my professor was in Twitter Spaces with me. And I thought it was funny, but I just never asked him. So where would a run to 50 get us? I mean, who knows? That technical breakout that a lot of people, TMI, I think Matt has been talking about it too, above 46, sends us to like blue sky territory. And nobody really knows like how high this next big run up is going to go. But a lot of people are thinking it's going to happen soon. Could it? Absolutely. Could it take a little bit more time? Definitely. So many synthetic wrenches. Yeah, I know. If we ran to 50, I know where it would get my options. Sam, I mean, my options would have some fun there too. Let's see. Gio, I did not throw you in my dumpster. I think we have too much momentum. They can't hold us down. Possible. Very possible. I mean, think about what happened yesterday. We had that big 20% day. And what did we have today? We were down 30 cents in the market hours and then down 44 cents in the after hours. It's not very much. What exactly takes place on September 1st and September 9th? I'm not so sure about September 9th, but September 1st is that phase 5 UMR. And that increases the margin calls surrounding OTC derivatives, which is going to really drain out the liquidity of a lot of these institutions. Jay Parker, thanks for the great content, Vix. Anytime, man. Pushin', I do not have you chained to a furnace. How many shares were borrowed today? Let's look. This is GameStop. Got to go back to AMC. 6.11 million shares were borrowed. The borrowed change was 387,000. So it was a net borrow of 87,000. Nepal's got to get back to work in a little while. How much longer will you be on? I'll be on for another half hour. Dan, see, here's the thing. A low risk option, it depends on what you say is risky. Like a low risk option in terms of like a dollar amount would be like the deepest out of the money contract. You wouldn't spend very much money. It's like a risky contract because it's most likely not going to hit, but the dollar amount risk is very low. A less risky option would be closer to the money or deeper in the money because it's more like you're mimicking owning 100 shares. All right, it's power half hour. Let's do it. Let's do it. Power half hour. Let's have some fun. STV OTC is the penny stock. Yeah, Well, no. Okay, OTC derivatives. Yes, OTC equities are like the penny stocks. OTC derivatives are just like it's not going through a central exchange, so it's like swap contracts. Weird flex options, like what Randall was talking about, some futures contracts. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're on penny stocks. Vix, you are the man. Thank you, and keep it going. Thank you. Let's see. What do we got for power half hour? Hold up. Let me check something real quick. If the hedge funds own all these new shares to cover the in-the-money calls. Eric, that was a good one. Oh, Chris, you found the tube sock. There you go. Tomorrow I'm joining your guys' Discord. There you go. Oh, you found a penny. There you go. Litecoin to the moon. Hear anything about big players pitching AMC yesterday as a long? Alexander, I didn't hear anything about that, but there has been a lot of institutional purchases of AMC over the last quarter, which is very bullish in my opinion. Very bullish. Let's see. $1 a day keeps the hedgies away. Ho, 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 ho. Soda's like a boom boom candle a day. Let's see. The AMC stock chart is going to be instilled in my brain forever. Yeah. I did not see that Dogecoin situation. Let's see. What are your thoughts on Astro's fractal theory? We've been over this a bunch in the stream tonight. I think he's on the right track. With what we've seen this week, looks like he's right. Let's see what happens over the next week and a half. If we actually start to really rip, I think that's going to be a really good sign for that theory. Nando, thank you so much for the super. STV, thanks for being one of my wife's boyfriends. Can't wait to party Wolf of Wall Street style after the MOAS. You guys can keep her. Nando, that's tough, man. She might ditch you, man. Relax. She might own some AMC. You never know. She might be hoarding AMC shares and you just don't know. September 9th is when futures contracts need to be closed or rolled over. Yeah, that's around when GME is supposed to be having their earnings call too. I think Astro may have talked about this, but if you notice that the January run up is almost a mirror of the June run up, I think I saw that. I just picture you walking into class and people aping out. I've never been recognized before, which is, I mean, it's to be expected. I only have like, I don't know, 60, I think it's 67,000 subscribers now. It's getting up there. First time subscriber. Thank you. Gonna come in hot. Realistically, ballpark, what is your AMC price prediction? How many synthetic shares are truly shorted? No idea on the price prediction, but with the save vote, we saw that 99% confidence interval that the amount of shares that are actually out there is 1 to 5 billion. So with that statistical analysis, there was a 1% like probability that the actual number of shares lied outside of that 1 to 5 billion share range. So I think it's pretty accurate. Brandon, SCV, in your opinion, why do you think September will be juicy for us? I understand you're not an advisor and therefore can't say much. It just looks like it's almost time for another run up, if that makes sense. Beyond crazy. I'm 29 and I have people in my office subscribed. Alexander, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Families saw a big article about big investors shorting AMC. Wow, that's surprising. We are retail and dumb. Didn't know AMC was being shorted. Where's Gary after his Twitter rant? Gary Gensler had a Twitter rant? What did Gary do? Oh, that was yesterday. 2 days ago. He was ranting. Thanks, Vix. I just smashed the like button. Can everyone smash the like button right now? Brandon, thank you. If anybody could smash the like button right now, I would really, really appreciate it. Oh, the Mark Cuban thing. Gotcha. GME has some crazy high calls in the next few weeks for open interest. Let me take a look. It's not crazy. GameStop doesn't really have the options exposure that AMC does. Your breakdowns and insight into the market is beyond your years, man. Thank you, Alexander. Love your work. Getting yelled at, gotta make that late night fresh night apes. Alexander, there you go. STV, shout out my wife, Jacqueline, I'm guessing. Jacqueline, she's a new ape. TJ, there you go. Brandon, thank you so much for the super. Enjoying the stream, Vix. Thanks for answering me. Brandon, anytime. It is power half hour, too. No dates, no predictions, but tomorrow we moon. I'd love that. Let's see. You know B Hayes? I've heard of B Hayes. B Hayes, I heard, is doing a lot of good work over on his channel. Are call options different than contracts, or is it just the verbiage? Call options are contracts, so it's like the same thing. Let's see. I was just looking at the and 300K at 500 for September 17th. That's pretty solid. Yeah, anytime, big yellow bird. Brandon, apart from tax, what's going to be the first luxury item you buy post MOAS? Oh, I'm probably going to go on a trip somewhere. I need I think a vacation would be cool. Should we expect to go down to 42 then bounce, or are we going to rip to 50 tomorrow? Ray, it just depends on what the market's going to do. If we're seeing a little bit of bullishness and we don't see the Fed really start to make these weird tapering comments, then we're good to go. I'm thinking VIX is a werewolf. No, I wish we could trade 24/7. I think eventually it'll get there. Any thoughts on why the cost to borrow is so low when utilization is so high? Utilization isn't that high. Like, it's high for a stock, very high. 90.68 is very high. They're definitely shorting the heck out of it, but we've seen it higher before. So at one point I saw the cost to borrow max at like 11% today, but like has gone to 98, 99, 100% before. Like, look at this chart right here. All like utilization right here. Where is it? Why is this being idiot? Right there. 99.99. And these are all like 100% utilization before we dipped, came back up, and then we had that June run up. Oh, Geo. I would say none of them. Brandon, thank you so much for the super. I really miss my love, Rogue the Legacy. Please send him my love. Who is Gary Gensler? I will. Let's see. Alrighty. I think after the MOAS, the first thing I'm going to buy is a Happy Meal from McDonald's. I love toys. Trace Cat Titan. There you go. Can you show the cost to borrow versus utilization on Ortex, please? I just got a cramp. Let's see. Yeah, so the cost to borrow right here, 152. When was this? January? December 2020. Okay. And then it came all the way up to 19, basically 20% in the beginning of May. It came down to about 9% right before we had the really big spike. Drink more water? Yeah, I do. I need to. I need more liquid IV. Been in since January at 10:09. Diamond handing this until the shorts cover. This price action reminds me of 9. Yeah. I mean, we're just doing these like little run-ups, come back down, big run-up, come back down, really big run-up, little consolidation. I think we're in for a next pretty solid run-up here. Sad the 22-year-old is the most mature out of the group. Bliss, I'm on the internet right now. I'm on camera. Those hedgy tiers are probably getting real salty. They are. What is your opinion on certain people saying this is a managed squeeze? Okay, so they're gonna try to control the next market correction, but you can't control the squeeze, because in order to control the squeeze, you would need to convince retail to sell all of their shares at a certain price, and nobody's going to be able to get them to do that. There's 4.1 million at least of all of us, and you would need everybody in agreement, or a vast majority of those people in agreement, to sell their shares at a certain price, and I don't think that's ever possible. Let's see. How do your parents feel about your YouTube career? Are they aware of the following you have? Yeah, they are. My mom doesn't really. My mom is like thinks I have says I have a podcast sometimes, and I'm like, that's not really what it is. And then my dad knows what I'm doing. At what price per share would you say? Yeah, I don't know. What do you think about them adding strikes? Think they are expecting something or just because of the crazy volume? Maybe they see an opportunity to just sell more options to retail and make more money. If they add options to the chain, that means they can sell more of them. If the price doesn't go up there, then they make the premium. They make that money. Well, they make 100% of the premium that they sold. Do they listen to Power Half Hour? I don't think so. How old are you? I'm 22, Nepal. Is TMI able to live stream on his main channel tomorrow? At the current time, I don't think so. But hopefully he gets it back by the end of this week. You have a battalion worth of followers almost. Yeah. What are we at right now? Like 67,000? 68,000? That's hilarious. Matt's mom thought he had a podcast with a few listeners. That's funny. Yeah, I heard my mom one time was like, oh, she said something. It was like podcast, and I was like, that's not what it is. Like I've told her like it's videos before. She knows what I'm doing. I live stream and then I have videos. But I think she thinks the live stream. I think she thinks that's the podcast. Alex, I can't explain the fractal theory in depth. What it basically shows is like the algorithms are like moving the price of AMC in this one pattern where you can see it on like the large scale, the smaller scales, and even smaller scales. So just go watch that guy Astro's videos on YouTube. He's the one that found it and broke it down. Let's see. Would it be weird if they watched and joined in on the chat? I don't think so. Do you think if they bought all our shares for $1 million, they could break even? If they gave us all $1 million? No. How old is TMI? Well, I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, at this moment, TMI will be streaming from his backup channel. Yeah, that stinks. There's nothing we can do about it either. Like he's talked to the people at YouTube. They can't figure it out either. It's this weird glitch that he has going on, which really stinks. TMI is 45 because he is Tiger Woods. That's funny. TMI is old enough to drive STV to school. That's all that matters. I'm old enough to drive myself to school. Imagine if somebody's parents were mods, how many people would get banned? Oh my God, it would be hilarious. He's a wrinkled old man and that's why he wears a mask? No. Yeah, free TMI. Let's see. Oh, are you guys ready for tomorrow? Tomorrow is going to be fun. Tomorrow is going to be a good time. It's going to be eventful. I think we're going to see a decent amount of market volatility. We could see some opening selling due to Jackson Hole. We could see like the VIX start to spike. We'll see bond yields move. we'll see something start to happen while institutions position themselves for the move that they could expect is coming, or if they don't expect a move, then nothing's going to happen. Are you going to join TMI on his stream tomorrow morning? Probably not. That's early for me. I need to go to bed. I'm tired. We're ready. Still don't care about the price until the squeeze starts. Henry, that's awesome. STV, is it true what they say? What's underneath TMI's mask? Probably. Rogue needs more push-ups. We need Rogue to come on one day and just start yelling boom boom candles at the chart so we can start ripping. Tapering pushback. Yeah, I saw that. I haven't seen that confirmed though. If that is, then we're probably good to go. Are hedgies shorting Rogue? No, Rogue's fine. I heard there was another mask under there. Yeah, we missed the three of you together. We'll try to get all of us on back for a stream one of these days. We'll probably be able to do it once we're like really ripping again. That'll be a fun time to get all of us on. We could probably try to get like a lot of people on too when we're really ripping. Oh, blue blue. Ooh, we were just talking about this guy. What's up, TMI?
What is going on, my guy?
Not much, man.
I'm currently on the phone with the stupidest Google rep.
Oh no, what are they saying now?
He's like, oh, well, you have to respond back in the email chain. I'm like, the same email chain that I sent you guys 4 emails today without a response. He's like, you can expect a contact back within 24 hours. I'm like, this is 24 hours. We literally had the same conversation 24 hours ago.
Exactly.
Oh, well, I'll just make sure I send it to my team. I'm like, when we were trending on Twitter, this was finished. My channel was terminated and was fixed in 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's been 24 hours for one aspect of my page to be fixed. What's going on here? Oh, well, ... I'm waiting for this guy to respond back. It's been like 10 minutes. He's just trying to ask his friend, I guess, what to say back.
Are you just talking to like Google support on like YouTube?
No, I'm talking to Mike. This is a real person.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
hopefully, I don't understand why they can't just switch it back on or like do a little reset. And just give you live stream. Like, it can't be that difficult. Like, they have the stuff. It's just like hit allow streaming.
I know. Oh my goodness.
They respond?
Nothing.
Oh my God. So backup channel for the time being?
Something like that. These guys are ridiculous. Oh boy. Anyways, hopefully your day is going better, my guy.
Yeah, it's all right. Having a good time.
I heard something about an imitation.
Which one?
Did you do a little capital?
I didn't do wrench yet.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Wrench Capital.
Today we're covering AMC.
It's pretty fun to do it. Imagine if like
top-notch.
I didn't have to try to do that. That would be pretty cool. Plot twist. I'm undercover wrench capital.
Ticker symbol AMC.
I think we need that more often. I think he should just like tweet out his voice notes.
Wrench?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just tweet them out. Let the people hear that. Get along with their day. It's getting late. Go to bed, you two.
I am real tired.
Oh.
Remember when we had SCB, TMI, Kringle, Rogue, Apocalypse on at the same time? That was awesome. Yeah, everybody wants me, you, and Rogue to do another stream. I said when we're ripping, we can do it.
Yeah, I spoke to Rogue today. This guy seems like he is absolutely chilling right now.
Yeah.
He's like, I got the pregnant wife. I got the kids. I'm taking care of the family, taking care of myself. I'm just like, good for you, buddy. Good for you. He is doing solid right now. People keep asking, where is he? Where is he? I'm like, he's living his best life.
Mm-hmm.
He's living his best life. Looks like a Martian.
How many
Oh,
YouTube
I'm
texts
marking.
does it take to fix a simple issue? Apparently, a bunch of them.
Oh my! I'm about to go on another late night tweet storm. We'll see
Do
how
it.
this goes.
Well, hopefully we get some big boom boom candles tomorrow.
I am. The comparison has me. Yo, T might tell them if they don't fix it, I'm gonna bring the doom. I know. The comparison has me flustered for tomorrow. I don't know. Are you so when you look back at that date, the next day is what to you?
Which day?
If you look at today's date, if this is a pattern, and you compare it back to May, June.
Yeah, it's this and this.
So what day are we today?
We are on the 28th now.
So tomorrow is going to be absolutely nothing.
Could be nothing, and then Friday could be big boom booms. Or Monday or Tuesday. But we don't know if we're gonna follow this same trend. According to like the fractals, that we definitely could.
It's very interesting because that at this level, so where would that level be at 30?
What was that?
That level where we took off from was in around 30 to 35. I think it was like 32.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're right.
So we're at 40. We're basically 30% higher than that. So we're typically looking at like a 3-figure height boundary range.
Mm-hmm. That's what I think.
It's a bit wild. Seeing 3 figures, seeing AMC at 3 figures is a bit different.
It would be nuts.
Because that's when it's a global headline.
Right. AMC hits 100.
That's the number. 100 is a number where everyone and their aunts, uncles, next door neighbor's dog is investing in AMC.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I'm like flustered. Flustered as in like the attention that's going to start. Like it's going to have to be the combination of a bunch of OG apes, a bunch of silverbacks, a bunch of people that have been here for like get-go, and a bunch of newbies. It's going to be the weirdest. You think we're infighting now?
Wait till we get to these big moves.
Oh my gosh. Wait till Susan comes in.
Whew. Oh, Brandon says, why don't you, TMI, Trey, Matt, and others go all go on one live stream for an hour and just talk? I've never seen that already. And I think it would be good. That would be very cool. Also, SAR or no, NBR broadcast. That was the what do you call it? The currency. Thank you so much for that big super. I think we're getting ready for a big run. That would be awesome.
I would absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. The thing is, oh boy, I don't know if people are ready for this.
Ooh, tell them we got 2 minutes left.
Everyone is going to become the popular friend.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be a lot of, everyone's going to have to stay exactly who they are right now. There's going to be a lot of egos going around. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to feel like they're like, the shit amongst their friends is cool. It's cool. But as a community, we got to make sure we keep it relaxed. People are going to have more money now. It's everything's going to change. Every step. Like people think about like, oh yeah, we're going to get to like 800,000. It's like, okay, hold on a second. That's fine. I don't really care what number you guys put on things, but when we get to 250, you're going to start walking different when you wake up in the morning. Like people need to realize everything changes every single step. So I just need to make sure people are aware of this and prepared for this.
Mm-hmm.
No ego, just Lambo.
Fee rhymes with AMC says, not me. I don't have any friends.
Oh, man.
I know what you mean, TMI. That's why I tell my friends every day to invest in AMC themselves. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, because it's, man, I'm going to know more millionaires overnight than anybody ever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is wild.
Right.
there's someone, I'm not gonna say names here. There's somebody that I know that I don't know but know through online that has thousands of calls.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that.
Of calls for I don't even want to say the date, for a few months out.
Yeah.
I've
seen a couple of those.
I can only imagine what they're worth right now.
I know.
If you were stacking those up a month ago, they probably got $500,000 sitting in calls.
Oh yeah.
And if we rip to double, that's millions of dollars sitting in calls right now. Like it's gonna be wild.
That would be nuts. Ethan says dropped in to say hi, drop 5 and keep up the good work. Thank you, Ethan. That also wraps up the live stream for tonight. Thank you to all of you guys who came in. Also, for everybody who's in here right now, TMI's live streaming ability is not, YouTube's messed with them, so he can't live stream on his main channel, but he does have a backup channel called the TMI Network, and that's where the live streams are going to be until he gets his live streaming back. So if you guys watch TMI in the morning, or you should watch him anyway, that's where you're going to be able to find him tomorrow. Ooh, last minute super NBR. Thank you so much for another big one. If a stock price is $10 and there's a call option ends after a week for the strike price of 5, can you exercise that contract and sell the stocks for 8? No, you would sell them for market value. So $10. If the stock was at 10 and you had an option at 5 and you exercised it, you would buy them at 5 and sell them at 10. But good night, guys. Thank you all for popping in. Peace.
Deuces, guys. Of course, pushing it with the peaches. Of course.